Thank you for coming. I'm Janet Bocast. I'm an abstract artist, and I do predominantly non-representational work. Like to use a full sheet of it. This is a cold press arches sheet of watercolor paper, and I made a little window around it, drew a little window around it, so I have a little gap here, so it shows me my sides, and when I start to develop it out, I can see where it's going, the lines are going to go out into the corners. That helps me visualize it better. And I have nothing in my mind. I'm not sure what I'm going to start with, so I just pretty much start with a color, just what I feel like. I put out the colors that I feel like that day that are interesting to me. It's very important for me to have one big shape. Now, I always kind of start around the sides for some reason. I'm not sure why. I'm going to figure out where I want my large shape. Because you want kind of a large, in a painting, you want a large shape, some medium shapes. I'm kind of drawing with the brush right now. I also like the lines not to be just too straight or too controlled. I don't like any, that's why I'm in the abstract. There's no control. I can do anything I want with any medium or tool that I want, and it's, you know, I make it work. It takes a while. Sometimes I work on 5 or 6 at a time, and I don't finish one all at one time usually. That way I don't make them, you know, if I don't see where I'm going and I kind of lose my way, I'll put it away for a while and pull up another one, and maybe it's half done or quarter done or whatever, and then I'll see, oh yeah, it's, you know, I haven't touched it for a week or so, and then it's like, oh yeah, I know exactly what I want to do to it now. Sometimes if I go and try to finish it all at once, now I'm using, on this big brush, I dip into 2 or 3 different colors at once sometimes. I didn't here, because I didn't want to. I want this soft and smooth and simple. But I like, you can almost put any of these colors together because it's acrylic. In watercolor you probably couldn't do that. And I don't put them, and then I don't mix it all on here because that will make kind of a muddy area. I just kind of tip them out, put a little here, a little there, a little there, and then I have a really cool color. And I don't know what it's going to look like until I get it down. Your painting doesn't need a lot of interest. It needs a little bit of interest and a lot of gray, muted, non-interested areas. Keep my whites on my palette way over on the side, and the red way over on the other side, because you don't want to end up with a pink painting. And with acrylic, if you mix white with any of the reds on a palette, you're going to come up with this pink.
Janet, do you try to, if you're going to lay down a neutral brown in one area, do you try to put that same neutral into another?
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much, the painting, when you put color here, I usually will stick it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's usually sometimes at the end, when I've noticed I put a lot of red here and other colors, and then no red anywhere else. Mm-hmm. Your eye sees the red and wants to see it somewhere else. Mm-hmm. So you almost have to put it, even if it's a dot
little tiny
or a line, yes. And then also if you're doing lines, I always like to go back at the end and put another color on top of that line that I put down. That gives that line also a kind of a dimension. Yeah. You should squirt your acrylic so it doesn't dry out. They dry really fast. So this is my medium shape. This is my large. And when I go up to a line that I put down, you always have to go into it. Don't just go along the side. If you go into it and smoosh it and soften it, then when your painting's finished, the viewer's eye can get from this shape to this shape without it staticking. You want your eye to move through the painting easily, smoothly, and go and keep going around. You don't want it to go to one area and get stuck. So if you soften these transition between each shape, your eye can do that. I mean, you can have one shape that's just solid, but you don't want to have it solid. It's all block, block, block of color. That's just blocking in color. This is much more pleasing, much more interesting, I think. if you pick it up immediately with water, you can bring it back. When I first started out, I ended up with abstracts with all these little shapes, you know, when I went from impressionistic to complete abstract. I ended up with a lot of little shapes, and I was just too busy. It's a little too static. It's a little too, and I'm taking this color full strength pretty much, and I'm going to just take some of this line and soften it. Pretty much this is my texture. Okay, so I got texture. I've got transparent. I've got opaque. You've got to have a little bit of these design elements in each painting. And there's many design elements. That's how I learned to paint. I got myself in all these problem areas, and then I had fun digging my way out. And that's how I learned. I mean, I had more fun ruining painting than I did actually making a good painting when I got into the abstract. I mean, you learn more you learn more correcting a painting than you do actually painting the painting. I used to get back 8 to 10 feet, put a mat on it at this point. I get an easel, I work flat, and I have an easel in my art room, and look at it for a long time. And that'll tell me where I'm going at this point. It's 75% finished, maybe a little more than that. While the paint's wet, you can scratch into it. To balance this side now, I'm going to have to work over here. I always have to cover all my whites pretty much. I don't like to leave any. Now, this painting, should be asymmetrical and symmetrical. So I have a lot of squares, but I don't have anything quite round. I mean, I have a little bit of roundness going here, but I have some here actually. So I'm going to have to change this shape, because I have this shape going out here, I have horizontal, and I have a vertical here. One of these has to go. You don't want to have too many shapes the same exact size. You want them all to be just a little bit different.
Janet, are you looking for something representational in this?
No, never, no.
Never?
Never looking for anything. In fact, if I see something,
you get rid of it.
I get rid of it. See, you can change the whole painting by moving your mats around. The edges are important because you don't want too busy going out. Now's the part where you get close to the end. You need to go in and say, well, do I really need that? Or not? So I'll put my hand over, take my hand away, put it back. If it looks better with my hand covering it up, I need to get rid of it. I want this to be a focal point here, too much. This is okay, then your eye can jump to here, to here, to here. But I don't want your eye to go here.
Oh, that is so pretty.
That is pretty.
And then what I would do at home, I would keep studying a while, and then I will start moving it around. A lot of times I'll get an idea for another painting by doing this, you know. Or I'll decide to hang it this way. And it doesn't always look, you know, as well upside down as it did, you know. So I'll just probably take it and finish it the other direction. I just wanted to show.
Ooh, that looks good.
That's good
Yeah.
that way.
Do you like this?
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I need to get back and look at it. But you can see what I was saying about the big shape. You know, if you don't have a big shape in a painting, especially with a lot of bright colors and texture, this is the focal point. These have to be plain. Otherwise, it's going to be so busy and static that people who buy it are going to get tired of it because it's just going to be, you know, too much. So,
Very good.
Thank